GoTalkTo English podcast. Today, I am your host, Teacher Emily, and thank you so much for joining me on this special Easter podcast. Hold on one second. We're almost ready. Everyone has to get involved. Of course, Luna too. Thank you for being such a good sport. So, what's with all the bunnies? Just to share a little bit of my Western United States culture with you guys. Easter, of course, falls on the first Sunday of the month of April. And this year, that is today, April the 4th, which is a great day to have Easter. I mean, April 4th, 4/4/21. That sounds really nice. So anyway, Easter is largely a religious holiday. It is recognized by many different denominations. I had a Christian upbringing, so I am widely familiar with the death and rising of Christ. I know that story. There's a couple of different other significant connections with Easter and different religions. I'm not sure about all of them, but Easter has definitely evolved into a very fun, casual, very inclusive holiday. So many people have the serious side, the religious side, and some people have the fun side. And with that, you have the Easter Bunny. So the Easter Bunny is this gigantic human-sized rabbit that goes around in the dead of night, I suppose, and he leaves eggs all over the place, under your pillow, the trees, in the weirdest places, maybe even your shoe. The great thing is I don't think the Easter Bunny has a naughty list like Santa Claus, so he's much more easier to keep happy and to get special goodies and treats from. So yes, whenever you come around here at this time of the year, you will see tons of bunnies, bunny ears, pastels, those really nice, light, pretty colors that almost look like they need to be in a baby's nursery. They're all over the place. Flowers, and of course, eggs. So while talking a little bit about Easter, the traditions and things, I wanted to show you guys how I celebrate with one of my favorite traditions of dyeing eggs. Well, to sum it up, this is basically just coloring eggs to make them all fun and just cool to look at. Who doesn't like something colorful? Now, a quick note is that these are hard-boiled eggs, so they are completely cooked inside, and the shell is still on them. That is very important because you don't want to accidentally dye your egg, because then you'll be eating food coloring. And this particular dye that I have today, we'll be talking a little bit how to make your own homemade egg dye. It's really easy, really simple. But this one right here, the most common ingredient in egg dyes is vinegar. So if you could imagine a vinegar-soaked egg or a pickled egg, well, that doesn't sound too tasty. So it's very important to hard boil your eggs, make sure they have that protective shell on them, because this is what is going to be our canvas for our artwork. So some quick things. First off, if you do not have access to some of these pre-made, pre-packaged egg dyeing kits like I have right here with all my beautiful, wonderful colors, you can easily make your own egg dye at home using vinegar, water, and of course, food coloring. This is what's going to give you your color. So normally, you would need just about a small cup like I have here, and about this much of what's in the cup, right to where my finger starts, is filled with vinegar. You don't need that much. The vinegar is an acid, so it helps the dye, the color, penetrate, so you get that really nice, bright, colorful, saturated blues, pinks, greens, whatever color you want. So vinegar, water, and food coloring is a great way to make just a really quick, simple dye in your favorite colors. Because the one thing with these pre-made kits is, you're stuck with whatever colors they give you. But if you use your own dyes, and some of them even give you instructions on how to make certain colors like magenta. Oh, wait, here it is. Right here. So usually on these boxes, they actually kind of tell you what colors to mix, how many drops to use to achieve those beautiful, precise shades. But anyway, enough about that. So first off, I wanted to try/show off this new way I learned how to dye eggs using shaving cream. So if you do not have actual shaving foam readily available, say you're like me and you just have some shaving gel, well, it's okay, don't panic. It's an easy fix. All you need to do is put a little bit of air into it. You need to get some of those bubbles foaming. So I have a towel laid down because this usually gets a little messy. So before you get started, do a little bit of damage control. Lay down a towel, grab some extra towels just in case. I have a cat, and so hopefully he doesn't knock anything over, but if he does, we're prepared. Back to the shaving cream, the shaving gel. So gel, we want bubbles. We want it to be nice and foamy and fluffy because this is going to help us tie-dye our egg. So all you need to do is get some of that air in there. So we are just going to mix it. I'm using my hand. And you're going to watch the magic happen. Basically, we're just kind of whipping air into our shaving cream, kind of like whipped cream. And I want it nice and fluffy. And build up those bubbles. Build it up. Luna, what's going on? What's going on? We're getting messy. This is exciting. This is fun. So anyway, while I'm doing this, so one of the big things with the tradition of the Easter Bunny and Easter eggs, of course, is the Easter egg hunt. These are usually public events that are held by schools, communities, churches, or just general neighborhoods and families where kids are invited to go to like a park, a backyard, some type of large area, and they hunt and scavenge for Easter eggs that are hidden all over the place. Now, these can be our hard-boiled eggs like we're using today, or they can be plastic eggs that are filled with all sorts of treats. These can be things like toys, candies, sweets, or even money. That's why it's always fun to go to Easter egg hunts, because sometimes they put money in the eggs, and you never know if you're going to get that money egg. There's usually always one somewhere around. All right, so I have whipped up and made a nice big fluffy mountain of my shaving cream. So now for our next step, I am just going to spread some different food coloring colors all throughout my shaving cream. Now I'm going for a tie-dye effect, so I'm just kind of going all over the place. I'm just spreading them out. I want lots and lots of colors. Diversify. The American way. Alright, a little bit right there. Okay, we got what is that? Purple. And now we're gonna add the pink. Okay. And we're gonna do green. One more over here. Okay. Alrighty. So I have a little foam sponge here. You can use a spoon or a popsicle stick or anything. This is just what I have close by for some weird reason. And so I don't want to mix the colors too much, but I want to get a nice colorful foam. I'm just gonna kind of spread it just a little bit. Just to get the colors a little activated. And I'm just gonna go ahead and lay that on here. And now, put my egg in. roll it over a little bit. And just so you can roll your egg, or you can kind of just help put the foam on the egg. The idea is you want to make sure you got color. There needs to be color. The egg needs to be fabulous. So I feel like we've got a pretty fabulous egg going on here. It's a little hard to tell. But anyway, so this process takes a little while, so I'm going to go ahead and set this over to the side to do its thing, work its magic, and then we will check on that egg in a moment. But for now, let's play with some of our egg dye. So, Easter egg hunts, they're definitely fun and awesome. When I was a little kid, my mom worked for a hospital, and they would hold an annual or yearly Easter egg hunt in this gigantic football stadium. There was a university in the town that I lived in, and of course, well, we love our football. So we would go to the football stadium, and there would just be eggs everywhere, and they would just let all the little kids run loose and just chase after these eggs, and people were tripping. Oh, and that's a big thing. You can't have an Easter egg hunt or Easter eggs without an Easter basket. Now, unfortunately, I did not buy myself an Easter basket this year. But, Easter baskets, well, they're awesome. They can be baskets that you make yourself. You can go to the store and buy a basket, or you can buy basically kind of think of like a Halloween pumpkin. Sometimes it's like the head of an Easter bunny, or maybe it's shaped like an egg, or, something Easter related. But it is necessary and very, very vital for carrying and carting your eggs, because how else are you supposed to carry all those eggs? One thing with the dye is, I'm gonna pause on my story. I don't mean to get sidetracked so much. So real quick, I've just put my egg in the dye for just a split second. This is pink, and you can already see it's got a little bit of color, but I want bright. I want fabulous. I need more. So I'm gonna leave that in there for a little bit longer. But yes, so if you can imagine dozens of little kids excitedly running and searching for these little plastic eggs filled with candy or money, it's definitely entertaining, and so I can definitely understand why so many parents are into it. Another thing, a tradition that my family did, is my mother and my tias would save the eggshells. Now, they were like professional egg crackers. I need to ask them how they managed to do it. But they would crack the egg just in one little tiny spot, like almost like they punched a hole in it, which I'm pretty sure that's probably what they did. But they would do this, and then they would clean it out, dry them off, and come Easter time, they would buy, what are they called? Confetti. Little shredded pieces of tissue paper and scraps and, glitter. And anyway, so they would take these eggs, these almost perfectly intact eggshells, and they would go up to the little bitty hole, and they would fill it up with the confetti. And so then we would go to one of my cousin's house, and well, we went outside, and we would run around, and we would take the eggs and we would smash them against each other's heads. Mind you, there was just confetti in them. There wasn't any egg or anything really solid or hard inside them. So it was just like, just like squish, they were all fun. No one got hurt. But yeah, so we would smash the eggs against each other, and we'd throw them at each other, and there would just be confetti all over the place. It's definitely something that I wouldn't mind doing now, but with all the new knowledge we have about the environment and being kind to Mother Earth, and with Earth Day coming up, it's definitely a good idea to invest in biodegradable or earth-safe confetti. This is usually made out of leaves or flower petals, something that's easy for the dirt to absorb and work with. All right, checking in on that pink egg, we are getting a little bit more saturation. I'm going to move on to some of my other colors while I wait because I really want a bright pink. So if you have rubber bands close by, you can also use them on your egg. Now, the rubber is really useful for not absorbing the dye, but also keeping kind of a seal on the egg. So I'm hoping to get a good result, but my rubber bands are a little on the thin side, so we'll hope for the best here. I'm trying to go for a nice, there we go. I'm thinking I'm gonna get a nice basketball looking design, so I think this one deserves to be orange. So I'm gonna take my little egg scooper here, and this is just so that way you don't accidentally yeet your egg into your dye, because that would be terrible. So far, to give you a sneak peek, we have the pink egg cooking, we have the orange basketball egg, potential basketball egg. We might just keep the rubber bands on. Anyway, and so if you are very, very careful, you can actually pull off, let's see, you can actually pull off doing different colors on an egg. Okay, this one's stressing me out, so I'm just gonna plop you in there. So you get some yellow. Yellow. So it's a little bit more water. Okay. Always handy to have some extra water around. All right. But yes, if you are careful and with gentle balance and patience, whoops, I knocked it over, you can manage to dye one side of the egg, and then you can go back and dye another side of the egg. It just sounds a little confusing when I say it, but I promise it's gonna make sense when I show you. Anyway, switching gears here real quick. Okie dokie, so while that's sitting, so yes, smashing confetti eggs was a really big part of me. A really big part of my Easters as a kid. And going back to the Easter baskets, it's normally tradition for the adults in the family, whether that's mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, and uncles, they buy the children Easter baskets. And the idea is this basket can be used for Easter egg hunts, but you're supposed to fill it with things that the child might like. Now, many people have commercialized on the tradition of Easter baskets. So you can find Star Wars Easter baskets, Marvel Easter baskets, LOL Easter baskets, Bratz, Barbie, whatever, Paw Patrol. If it exists, it probably has an Easter basket. We like to pander. But these are really fun. I remember whenever my dad would buy us our Easter baskets, it was so fun and just overjoying to walk in and see those bright, colorful baskets filled up with stuff, and then know that once you take all the stuff out and eat all the candy, you're gonna go Easter egg hunting to get more stuff and more candy. Well, mostly just more candy. Oh, goodness. But the funny thing is even though this is such like a big cultural thing, like this is really, a normal part of, just the American way of life, we have the tradition of taking Easter photos. Just like you would take pictures with Santa Claus, well, people like to have their kids pose with the Easter Bunny. The problem is that not many children or young children take too kindly to being placed in the lap of a strange, anthropomorphic, human-sized rabbit. It kind of freaks them out a little bit. So in most Easter photos that you see with young, small children, they're usually screaming or crying or just giving a face of general dissatisfaction, understandably so. But I don't know, it's so ingrained and routine in our social, our social, well, habits that we don't really question it. Usually the person who's dressed up as the Easter Bunny is, dad, mom, who knows? People also like to go out and leave little bunny prints to show where the Easter Bunny has been, or, just fun little things to make that Easter magic. And this is another example of a holiday that has roots from somewhere else, Being in the United States, it's a nation of diversity, a nation of shared cultures and traditions. So, originally, Easter was introduced to the U.S. in the 17th century by the Germans. It comes from the Germanic holiday of Osterhaus, which also describes a giant bunny giving out gifts. So again, some stolen lore, but it's fun to have these nice little American twists, these little, these little new spins that we do. Even adults, with Easter, the hunts, the decorating, it's largely a kid's holiday. If you're not celebrating Easter for religious purposes, what have you. It's normally for the kids. You got a giant bunny, colorful eggs, candy. That screams children. But even adults have found their own way to put spins on Easter and Easter traditions. All right, we are checking in on the pink egg. Just gonna give her a good little wipe down. Oops. All right, so a special thing with the pink egg is I used crayon before I dyed the egg. And so I'll show you what that looks like. And so now I'm just wiping off that crayon. And since crayon is made out of wax, it helps to create a watertight seal on the surface of the egg. So when you put it in your dye, the dye doesn't actually touch the shell. It just goes and touches the crayon. So this is what you get. Nice, easy, simple patterns that you can draw in your egg. And whenever you take it out of the dye, well, the white parts are going to expose your designs. Whew. I'm getting all sorts of messy. So here is my bi-colored egg. This is an egg that we used one color in one place and then introduced the other colors. Forgot. I feel like there's a different word for that. Sometimes I forget my words. That's the problem with English, is we have so many options, so many different words, so many different ways to express ourselves. But sometimes you just forget them all. It's like, wait, what? All right. I'm going to drop my last egg in. Oh, before I do that, I forgot. The egg dye kit came with glitter. So if you're like Teacher Emily, you love sparkly things, you love glitter, it's just amazing and fantastic and fantabulous. This is perfect for you. So we're just gonna sprinkle some of this glitter powder into our dye for our huevo. Yes. Look at me, bilingual. All right. Because for my last egg, I really want to try and pull off something super duper uber spectacular. Because, I'm American, so I have to be a little extra. A little over the top. All right, so I'm just going in and gently kind of stirring that up, making sure that glitter is really in there. Right? I'm going to drop off my blue egg because I want a sparkly, glittery blue egg that screams Teacher Emily Fabulous. You'll know it when you see it. All right, meanwhile, let's check on our rubber band egg. Rubber band egg. Rubber band egg. Oh, I just realized some of our rubber bands have already fallen off. Whoops. All right, that's okay. We deserve to have at least one fail. One fail to humble ourselves. All right, so as you can see, while my egg was cooking while it was dying, my rubber band slipped. But all is not lost, because we got one good line. One good solid line of color. I'm gonna call that a win. It's mostly a fail, but it's a little bit of a win depending on how you look at it. We're gonna be positive today, you know? No such thing as mistakes, just happy little accidents. That's Bob Ross, by the way. Highly recommend if you don't know who he is. American icon. All right, so for my last and final trick, well, before we check in on our tie-dye egg, all right, so I have been cooking this yellow egg, and I'm going to try my best to create a rainbow egg. Now, I took art class many, many years, and even a little bit in university. So I'm hoping all of my studies in color theory have been preparing me for this moment right here. All the marbles. So I'm going to attempt a rainbow, just a rainbow egg. So I'm gonna set this right here, just enough in my orange. Oh goodness. There is a lot of weird history that comes from dyeing eggs, or the Easter Bunny, or just the tradition of the Easter celebration. Many different cultures, many different people who practice different things, they all have their different ideas, their different beliefs. And it's honestly really cool to see how some of the stories connect and how they differ. I'm mostly used to, well, the American way of celebrating Easter, which of course is just putting on a pair of rabbit ears, dyeing some eggs, and going out for Easter egg hunts, and potentially tripping other children. Okay, so I'm going to switch gears real quick. Where is my duper? There it is. My little egg duper. Ooh, it is covered in glitter. Oh my lord. Alright, so we're just gonna set that in here. Alright, I have a little bit of a balancing act going on. So in one quick second, we are going to check on our tie-dye egg. We'll see how that's going. Our shaving cream tie-dye egg. Alright, so we officially have orange. Now I'm just going to take it real quick, and we're just going to put that into pink. Just the tip. Just the edge. Don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves. Nope, not today. We're taking our time, taking it easy. I like hard-boiled eggs. Some people, not so much, although candy eggs are significantly better. We can't forget about the tradition of the chocolate Easter bunnies. Not only do kids get to look forward to Easter egg hunts and Easter baskets, but usually you receive a Easter bunny, a small little bunny made out of chocolate. My brother loved milk chocolate, and so he got a brown chocolate bunny, but my mom knew that I liked white chocolate. So she always made sure to get me a white chocolate bunny, and you know, I might go out and buy a chocolate bunny today, just because, you know, for the sake of old times, nostalgia. Who doesn't like a delicious chocolate bunny every now and then? All right. Okay, so we have the top of our, oops, trying not to get too many colors on here. We have the top of our rainbow egg. And now I'm gonna switch over to green. Get that bottom in there. Let it soak for a minute. Again, just taking the time, enjoying the moment. But yes, chocolate bunnies are really good. As I get older, I find that it's a little bit harder to eat massive quantities of sweets, especially candy and chocolate. So I try to save it and wait for a special occasion to indulge, to really pig out and just not care about calories or sugar or healthiness. That stuff. It's, who's got time for that? Oh no! I hiccuped and I dipped. But that's okay. Alright, so green is complete. So the reason why, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I'm doing specific colors. I'm just following the rainbow order of, that sounds so official, the rainbow order. The rainbow order of how the colors come, starting with your red, which in this case we use pink, orange, yellow, then you go to green, blue, and if you have purple or violet, that's what you would end on. So today we are ending off on our blue. I'm gonna let that sit there. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna reach on over here. Let me grab that whipped cream egg. And you'll have to excuse me for a moment because I'm probably gonna need a paper towel because this looks like a woo! Oh, there's our egg. Found the egg. Located it. It looks like a liquefied jawbreaker. Here, I need my duper. Where's the duper? My Scooby Doo. Here we go. Scooby Doo. Scooby Doo. Woo! Come back here, you. I says, come back here. No. 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 It keeps falling over. All right. No! It fell! I never should have trusted the duper. Never trust the duper. It's alright. It's alright, guys. Alright. Anyway, so we're going to grab a paper towel. We're going to quickly polish off our foam shaving cream egg. I think this is sat for as long as I need it to. We're going to go ahead and give that a quick little... Woo! Alright, I'm going to try and find the prettiest side to show you guys, because we had some droppage in some of the color. We were doing so well until we got to the blue, but here we go. Here is our rainbow egg. Or actually, it kind of looks like a snow cone egg, but I love it. I'm actually really happy with how it turned out, even though, had some hiccups, some minor mishaps. I'm just going to show you guys my hands. They are absolutely colorful. And, all right, so... Whoop, whoop. Okay. Got my egg. I'm just going to kind of clean it off a little bit. Get all that shaving cream off. But yeah, out of all the Easter traditions, I do think that egg decorating is definitely one of my favorites, just because, well, you can make anything really bright and colorful and really just bring your imagination to life. So here is my tie-dye. Let me dry it off for you guys. Sorry, my egg's a little moist, a little wet. So after our 10, 15 or so minutes, here is my tie-dye watercolor egg. Very beautiful, very pretty. And you don't have to stop the decorating at dyeing. If you have stickers or markers, pencils or anything, you can even go and just draw on your eggs. There's nothing stopping you from painting, drawing, coloring, or even carving on an egg if you want to. Okay, and putting on the finishing touches. No, my marker's running out of ink. I just need one more letter. One more letter, please. All right, we might have to just be without a T. Oh, no, here we go. Wait a minute, this is as good as we're gonna get. But anyway, and now we have our backwards GoTalkTo egg, but it promised it's right side for me. But just to, oh, I almost forgot. We have a glittery blue egg that we haven't taken out yet. Let me let him. Ta-da! So, oh, and there is a passed out pupper behind me. Isn't she the greatest? So once you have finished decorating all of your eggs, you can get your Easter basket, or you can hide them all throughout your house for your family members to find. But if you're using real eggs, I recommend you remember where you put them, just in case they start to go bad. So, all right. So I'm just gonna make a little mini egg basket here. And we're gonna finish it off with old Shiny Hiney. Give him a good little pat. Ta-da! And there you have it. A delicious bouquet of colorful, lovely Easter eggs. And whenever you're done admiring their beauty, just crack and enjoy. Now, hard-boiled eggs are delicious. You can eat them by themselves. You can chop them up and put them in a salad. Or you can put seasoning, salt, pepper, maybe even hot sauce on them. Or you can just throw them at your friends. Probably don't throw them at your friends. But you want to make sure that you peel off your shell before you take a nice bite out of the delicious hard-boiled egg. So good. And an excellent source of protein. Well, thank you so much, guys, again, for joining me on our Easter podcast. I hope you learned some interesting, fun tips and tricks for how to get the most out of your egg dyeing experience. And I look forward to our next podcast together, where I get to show you guys some more of my culture and share my stories with you. Thank you again so much. And from Teacher Emily and the infamous Luna, Happy Easter.